Whoa, what a David. Ow.
Good job.
Ow.
Rash. Welcome to Discover Progress, the podcast that used to be about progress wrestling.
Specifically.
But now one of us hates this couch.
Yes. Someone definitely hated that couch.
Yeah, it was Roderick Strong.
He
hated the couch. I always hated that couch.
And he hates Velveteen Dream.
I don't know why we're making that joke now, considering...
We haven't even talked about it.
Well, but he lit the couch on fire last week.
Yes, but then we got a promo about it this week.
Yeah, in a very weird time.
Very weird time.
Very weird time. But we will get to it. We're here to talk about different things. Why are you pointing at me? You're pointing at yourself. Now you're pointing at me. Are you trying to say you're wearing a great T-shirt?
I am wearing a great T-shirt, but no.
It's an all-right T-shirt.
I was attempting to signal you to do the housekeeping stuff. Cause
you're saying it's messy around here.
You're that guy.
I am that guy.
David.
And you're that guy.
And I'm that guy.
Yeah.
Adam.
Yeah.
Hey, look, we did
it. Okay, so if you want to follow us on social medias, you got Twitter and Instagram, both at Disc Progress. Twitter being The David Show. That's where I am most of the time. And Instagram being The Adam Show. And then wherever you're listening to this podcast, rate it, review it, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Tell your friends. You can find us everywhere. If this is the first time you're listening, we got iTunes. I don't think that's a thing anymore. Well, it is. Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, wherever. You'll find us. And at allwrestling.com.
Our very special friends.
Now that that's out of the way.
We got not as big a show.
No, yeah. I was like, we got
we got a huge show. No, that was last week. A huge show.
Here's the funny thing. NXT is about to go live next week.
Yes.
That's when the big shift happens.
But only an hour.
And we won't be doing... Well, no, it'll be 2 hours live, but only an hour on USA and then an hour on the network. But we won't be doing an episode next week.
No.
We may have an episode next week that'll have nothing to do with NXT or NXT UK or Progress Wrestling, anything. I mean, who knows? We'll see. But, yeah, so we're going to talk about the sad time that I don't know if it's sad. This is the final, pre-taped NXT episode.
Yes.
Did you think about that for a second?
Yeah, it's very sad. I will no longer be able to look up the spoilers. Not that I have.
Well, you can because, of course, NXT is going to be going live on Wednesdays. And if you're going to watch it on the network, you can't watch it until Thursday.
Yep.
And then, so there's a full 24 hours in there where you could get it spoiled if you chose to.
That's true, if I chose to.
Yeah, but...
I really got to fix my Google News feed.
Yeah, this guy, he's always
that was a good one. I go on there forgetting.
Speaking of like unintentional spoilers, I actually just the past few days here went on both my personal Twitter as well as our Twitter and muted Jim Smallman and Progress Wrestling and hashtag This Is Progress, hashtag NPS6. I'm like, I don't want, specifically the Natural Progression series, I'm like, I don't really want that spoiled.
I think that's probably Progress's best tournament.
Maybe. I mean, Super Strong Style 16 is pretty sick too.
Yeah, but
come on now. They got 2 solid tournaments.
3.
What's the third?
The Love of the Divine,
right?
Or whatever.
There's got to be more to that tournament than
we must have missed something.
You had to have missed something, but yeah. So I went on Twitter. I was like, nope, we're not. We'll not have those spoiled.
And it's all because Smallman refuses to be on our podcast.
Yeah, sure.
No,
that's why I muted him.
Yeah, no.
Should have just unfollowed that guy.
Jeez.
But sometimes he tweets about music, and that's just fine with me.
Because he likes the music you like.
Some of it, yeah.
Kind of.
Some of it.
Maybe he'd be on your music podcast.
He was literally tweeting about, he was literally tweeting about Limp Bizkit the other day.
Oh.
Which is weird because now there's been this influx of people on my Twitter timeline tweeting about Limp Bizkit. Not because of that, but just all of a sudden...
Have Limp Bizkit done something?
No. Part of it is I don't think that necessarily has they're isolated. There's obviously the Jim Smallman stuff.
Yeah,
And then
Are Limp Bizkit back together?
I don't know if they ever broke up, but I don't know. But anyway, there's a podcast, and this is a shout out to a podcast, I suppose, called the POD Cast, where they just like talk about new metal albums. And so their first episode was about Significant Other by Limp Bizkit.
Oh,
and
yeah.
so they were like retweeting stuff and whatever.
Right.
And I was like, now Limp Bizkit is all over my timeline.
Weird.
Yeah.
Do they talk about POD?
I'm assuming they will. They've got them in their like opening music montage and
That's
their
fair.
name. And of course, POD Cast. The cast is with a backwards K, which doesn't make
With the
sense that they
backwards
do
K.
the backwards K, because in Korn it's a backwards R.
Yeah.
But it's maybe it's just the Korn K. I forget. Anyway,
They should. The P should be backwards. That would be the 9OD cast.
didn't you like that sigh?
I kind of did, yes.
I sigh. I sigh. I am tired. Do you have?
I got one.
He's prepped.
I'm prepped.
And ready.
And ready.
For Adam's question of the day.
All right. This is going to be, should be a pretty easy one for you.
Oh, good.
All right.
I don't know if there's been. Has
I
there
don't
been
think
one
it-
yet that I haven't gotten?
I don't think so.
It's gotta
But
start
if
really
you
digging.
don't get this one,
Shame on me.
shame on you. All right, Pete
Peeling-
Dunne.
I'm peeling carrots. Yeah, Pete Dunne. He's
One of my favorite wrestlers.
yeah, maybe possibly now on a full-time contract. Probably starting next week.
Yes. Moving over to NXT.
Hold on. I like that that's a joke that I don't know how many people actually get.
No,
But we make it
we do.
all the time.
All the time.
Not necessarily on the show. It's definitely happened on the show. But anytime we see Pete Dunne, I wonder if he's got a full-time contract yet. You got to find. Maybe I'll find like the mini doc sometime and
You
just like
should.
tweet it out.
Yeah.
Because all he talks, it's from years ago, and it's like I want to say he's
Him,
in it.
young, very young. Mark Andrews
Mark
is in
Andrews
it.
is
I
in
think you can see Eddie Dennis.
Yeah, there's a number of people that they're like wrestlers training, and
Yeah.
Pete Dunne just keeps talking about all he wants is that full-time contract.
Well,
Just want
and
a
the
full-time
news
contract.
people are like, he's just trying to get a full-time contract.
Yeah, so it's the joke that keeps on giving.
Yeah.
Anyway, Pete
Anyways.
Dunne, go on with your question.
One of the most dominant performers in WWE currently, with a 685-day title reign. As I said, he's my favorite wrestler. Who is his favorite wrestler?
David Starr.
Hey!
That's not even a real question.
It's a horrible question. I know.
You just.
Hey, you never said they had to be good.
That's true. That's true. Your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler. Again, another thing referring. You got to watch Progress, I suppose.
Yes, to get that.
I wonder. Trying to think if he gets that intro. He must get a similar intro everywhere he goes.
Yes.
Like I know in ECCW he got it. It wasn't quite to the same extent as that. Like Jim gives him on.
Well, Jim
Progress.
keeps adding them.
Yeah, well, no, I think David keeps adding them.
Oh, yeah.
And Jim just goes with it. Whereas the one on ECCW that I saw, it wasn't as long. That one was in there though. Mm-hmm. Your favorite wrestler's favorite wrestler, and
He's really good at Twitter.
Except this guy, Sweater Vest from ECCW,
Yeah.
their ring announcer, he added a couple reallys in there. He's really, really, really good at Twitter.
Oh,
But anyway, David Wrestler's a good time. David Wrestler's a
David
good time.
Wrestler. Johnny Wrestling is a
no,
good time.
one of his nicknames is that gets dropped in there is Davey Wrestling.
oh, that's true.
So that's fair. It's acceptable.
Progress has a lot of person wrestling.
Well,
Paul Robinson, Mr.
yeah,
Wrestling.
I don't know if they have them at any one, like all together
That's
at one
true.
time. Although Paul Robinson, he's got to start. Wouldn't it be hilarious
And
if
he
he
just
comes out in the tights?
Revert right back to wrestling.
I want him to do that, not necessarily in the tights, but
Yeah.
like bring the wrestling thing back because he is. I think he's full face.
Getting the
now.
face turn, I
Yeah,
think,
he's.
yeah.
I mean, the face turn has occurred. Whether or not he's full
Mm-hmm.
face these days, I guess we'll see. As we're recording this, Natural Progression Series happens tomorrow,
Yep.
and 95 happens Sunday. So I don't know if he's fighting on Natural Progression Series or not.
Well, isn't the Proteus Rumble during the
No,
Proteus
that's on
Rumble's 95?
Yeah, which he's the first entrant. Which
Yeah.
I think you could be onto something, cementing like that face turn as him going either start to finish or start to long time.
Yeah.
In that match, there is like non-tournament matches at Natural Progression though, because that's where we got
That's where we're getting
CCK versus LAX and
Eddie Kingston. Yeah.
in a or a street fight.
Street
Street fight. But anyway, we don't have to talk about Progress right
no,
now.
because we didn't watch. Well, you've been watching. You started watching Chapter 15.
Yeah, I did start watching going back to where we had left off when we were
First doing the podcast.
Yeah, first doing Discover Progress, where the idea was we started from Chapter 1 and watched each chapter and then talked about them after watching each one. It just became a lot of wrestling to have to watch every week.
It was a lot of homework, guys.
Yeah. So especially because for whatever reason, those at the time anyways, on-demand progress, they wouldn't work very well at work.
Yeah.
So it was like super annoying. I had to not watch it at work. And
Had
then,
to watch it at home.
Yeah, and then you're watching 2.5, 3-hour shows. And like, So it got a little tiring. But I decided, I was like, man, some of those stories that we left off right in the middle of,
Oh, so good.
especially the big one, that's, of course, Jimmy Havoc and Will Ospreay. I'm like,
That one was literally just starting, too.
I was like, I kind of want to start watching some of those again. And so I had mentioned a while back, I was like, I may like go and cherry pick matches, but chapter 15, I just started watching the whole thing.
That's fair.
And there is a natural progression series match on that show.
Oh, that one, yeah.
The baby faces, like literally Pete Dunne and Flash Morgan Webster.
Yeah.
They look great.
So young looking.
So young looking. So yeah, anyway, let's talk about, we've only got NXT UK and NXT to talk about this week.
Yeah.
So after a monster of a show last week, we're going to dial it back a little bit. That's the dialing it back sound. And if you could see him, that's the dialing it back act. It looks like he's sharpening pencils.
Or I'm reeling in the fish.
Oh, reeling in a fish. Yeah, okay. None of that has to do with dialing anything.
Well, you're pulling it, you're reeling it in.
Okay.
If I did this in real life, I'd just smack my face with a fishing pole.
I got a fish!
Bonk. Ow, my nose.
My nose.
Then I'd look like Bobby Fish.
Speaking of, you ever gotten a fish hook in your skin?
No.
I got one in my arm when I was a kid.
Yeah.
I was at...
Not a pleasant thing.
No, it wasn't fishing. That's the best part. I was at my buddy's house. In fact, it was my buddy who I watched Royal Rumble 94 with.
Oh. Did he try to fish hook you?
I can remember
Literally
watching
with
it
a
as
fish
hell.
hook?
No, we were sitting in like his like living room area or wherever, and they had like thick shag carpet.
Oh, yeah.
And I just like leaned back in the carpet and felt something like kind of pull. And I was like,
Yeah.
what? And I sat up and I had a fish hook in my arm.
Oh, jeez.
And like the fish hook was in my arm far enough where it went in and I could see my skin poking up again where it was trying to break back through.
Oh, wow.
Like full hook.
Wow.
And so I was like, his mom's like, oh, we should probably take you to the doctor. So we didn't go to like the ER or anything. We just went to
a med
doctor.
center or whatever.
Which was fine because it was like nothing crazy serious.
You just slid it open.
Just
pop
happened
it
to
out,
also be where
stitch
my
it up.
mom worked, right?
Well, that's handy.
Yeah, but the doctor was initially going to try and pull it out, but there was like a barbed fish hook, which I don't even think you can fish with anymore.
Oh.
Yeah, in lots of places they're banned, like you're not allowed.
But that's how you keep the hook on them.
Well, you're supposed to hook them better instead of cheating.
Fair.
But anyways, because of the barbs, he couldn't pull it back. I was saying he had to
Cut it out.
slice my arm open, pull it out, and
That's why
me a stitch.
arrowheads are shaped like
oh
double V's,
Yeah.
so they're harder to pull.
So
out.
like the end of the hook would have a little barb, but then this had like barbs along the hook.
See, I only ever
Yeah,
use
yeah.
the ones with the one hook.
No, these ones I don't know if you can get them anymore. They had like barbs along the hook or whatever to help it stick in too. But it's stuck in my arm. Frick, that sucked. But anyway, let's talk about NXT UK. We're nothing to do with fish. I don't know if there's any fish hooking on NXT UK.
I did not see any fish hooking on NXT UK.
But it was another good episode.
Yeah,
you know, we're kind of reeling a little bit from Cardiff.
yeah.
I'm curious to see. I was really hoping that we were going to get who's next for Walter.
Yeah.
Which we didn't. Like, they came out right away, cut a great promo, as they do, sounding very, very...
totalitarianism.
Yes. I was like, I know, I get it.
You do what we say or we will destroy you.
Yeah,
Like,
you
oh,
will
boy.
follow the rules, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, okay, I mean, it's classic wrestling heel, right?
Yeah.
Especially because, obviously, this group is assembled of Germans.
Yeah.
And
one Italian,
an Italian, and an Austrian.
Yes.
Who all like they have something in their past that is in common.
Yeah.
we'll say that. And so they're definitely like they leaned into that a little bit.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay. Like it was weird because I was a little bit like uncomfortable listening to them. I was like, all right. But Marcel Bartel still such a I love that he so far has started every promo.
Yeah.
Because his voice is just like.
So
And the way he talks,
yeah,
you will it's just so deliberate and like, oh yeah, I got to listen to you. And then
I do
Walter
like how he
says,
says so sacred too. Like he just lengthens his S's on sometimes,
but not in the same way as soon. That guy you just hate. You just love to hate that.
I
guy.
love to love him.
Yeah, that's fair.
I like Zach.
Yeah, no, so do I. jumping around a little bit. They're later in the show.
They're
Come
way
on
later
now.
in the show.
Although
that was the main event.
It was. But yeah, I was really hoping that someone was going to come out. Instead, we got a tag match.
I keep hoping for... he's really good at Twitter.
I know you do. I don't see it happening.
All of our wrestlers' favorite wrestler.
If it's happened, they've done a great job of keeping that under wraps.
Right?
But I'm still, I'm like, who the heck is it going to be?
Because we're going over, and it's just like, I guess Kenny Williams?
Yeah, but like he hasn't even gotten, like it's
we haven't seen him in a while, yeah.
Well, no, we saw him. He fought Devlin.
Devlin?
Yeah. We literally saw him last week. Great match against Devlin. But Devlin won.
Mm-hmm.
And then Devlin was on again this week, and he fought Ashton Smith.
Ashton
Not
Smith?
nearly as good of a match.
Nope. Sorry, Ashton.
Yeah, he's...
With
As much as they like gave the near falls and stuff to him, like to make it seem nothing actually felt exciting or like there was a chance that he could win.
You never felt like Devlin was at risk against Ashton Smith.
And there were a number of near falls. And I was just like, I'm not getting behind that at all. Whereas like the near falls in the Kenny Williams match, I'm like, yeah, okay, like I like Kenny Williams.
Yeah, you have a reason to root for Kenny.
Yeah.
Ashton's just a guy who likes going whoop.
Whoop. Whoop. Yeah. Summed it up right there. He's a guy who goes whoop, you know. But yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like with Walter, I'm like, who is next? Who's next?
Who's next?
Like the only thing I can see is if Noam Dar, again jumping to later in the show, Trent Seven kind of like interrupted this great Noam Dar like press conference. But the thing is, Noam Dar, like the press conference, quote unquote, that he called was just to like pump his own tires. Yeah. And so I'm like, okay, so he's still very, very much a heel.
He's definitely not a good guy.
But people like him, right? And so I was like, maybe if he goes over Trent Seven, because Trent Seven interrupted the press conference. Like, you called your own press conference? Maybe you could make an argument for him to have a match. But I think I look at the roster and I go, he's dismantled British Strong Style. Yeah. That's got to be done.
Those are the top faces.
As great as that
NXT.
Tyler Bate-Walter match was, I don't have an interest in seeing a Bate-Walter 2.
3, technically.
Technically, yeah. I don't, like, it would, again, it would be another great match, but I'm like, okay, that story feels done, at least for now.
Yeah. Well,
so
especially with Pete going over to NXT.
Yeah. So, so can we move on, and who is it going to be? And it's like, I just get this kind of, like, gross feeling in my stomach. I'm like, is it going to be Travis Banks?
Could be Travis Banks.
Again, but I'm like, I want Travis Banks and Jordan Devlin to switch. Like, because he doesn't really do anything different, Travis Banks, that is, than, you know, his heel persona on Progress. But it's just, I can't get behind Travis Banks, even when he fought Walter, as being like that underdog sort of thing. I was like, I just don't. Whereas, like, Devlin, I feel like you could do some great work to put him there.
Yeah.
Even though Devlin, outside of NXT UK, has actually got victories over Walter. But so it's like one of those things where I go, okay, I would love to see Devlin Walter, because I don't think we've seen it. Like, we saw Devlin Dunn.
They had a match.
Did they have a match?
Yeah.
I don't remember them having a match.
It was after, it was before Banks Walter, I think.
Well, but Banks was Walter's first challenger. Outside
maybe it was
Pete
after
Dunne.
Banks Walter. I'd have to look. I'm pretty sure they had a match.
They may have. Like, I wouldn't be. I mean, I know they have for sure.
Yeah, no, I mean on
NXT
UK.
They may have. I'm not sure. I think Dragunov, I guess, is probably like who you could. Like,
Dave.
It would be a great match. Yeah, and that's another one. I'm like, I don't have interest, especially him coming off a loss. Like,
yeah,
it's not going to be immediate anyway. So I'm curious to see where we go. And like Dave Mastiff, I'm like,
how do you stop the unstoppable?
Well, I
force
feel like
that is Walter?
Whoever is going to beat Walter is going to be a smaller guy. Like, you're going to play that underdog story, and it's going to actually happen, which I'm okay with.
Mark Andrews,
sure, but I don't even put him there.
He'll be the first ever NXT UK double champion,
right? Sure, why not?
Why not?
I was hoping that Eddie Dennis was going to come out, because they're still in Cardiff. I'm like, I just want Eddie Dennis to come out.
Yeah,
I don't know if he's actually even cleared. Like, I'm like,
no, I don't think
I
he
refuse
is
to look, only because I don't want things to be spoiled. So if
and
he does,
there is a huge. We're literally at the top of the tapings.
Yeah. So who knows? We'll see.
Speaking of Cardiff, though, Welsh competitor.
Oh yes, we finally saw the debut outside of a Mae Young Classic match.
This is the third match we've seen of her.
Yeah.
Fourth match.
Yeah, because
she got injured in the third round of the Mae Young Classic 2018.
So, but she was in the first one too, right? Or no, she got cut. She got hurt before the tournament.
She hurt, and she was replaced.
That's right. But yeah, Tegan Knox,
the shiniest wizard,
and Kaylee Ray came out right away.
Yeah, why are you being? This is a thing that WWE heels seem to be doing a lot more frequently, and it's like the face is out there, they have a good match, they're celebrating, and then out comes the heel, the bad guy, and they start like trying to rub their nose in it. It's like, what are you doing? You're just poking the bear.
Well, you got to get things started somehow.
Well, yeah, but why are you picking a fight?
I'm a little surprised. I mean, maybe unless they just want to pull the trigger much in the same way with Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster. Like if they're like, let's do this match in Wales. Like if in fact that's what we get to, because that story with Kaylee Ray and Toni Storm didn't feel done.
No.
So I'm like, we're going to move on that quick? But
I guess.
I mean, I didn't think they'd actually do their TV tapings in Cardiff as well. I was like, oh, but here they are. Who knows? So, I mean, I'm assuming we got a while still in Cardiff. So it would be good. Like, if that does happen, it goes against everything I said. I'm like, there's no way she wins it on TV. But also at the same point, how often does NXT UK have takeovers at this point?
Twice
a
year,
yeah,
maybe.
so far. But if they're going to do it on TV, I guess Wales makes sense. You're going to get a good reaction.
Oh, yeah. She had a really good reaction.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
yeah, it was a quick little match. Kaylee Ray comes out. It was all like, meh, in her Scottish accent.
Yeah.
I don't know what meh in Scottish is, but.
Me. And everybody from the UK just kind of went, off.
Awful.
Tegan Knox sporting the Team Kick band.
Which was funny because then we're like, oh, yeah. Whatever happened to Dakota Kai? And then jump forward a little bit. She's had a
She's come back.
She had a little vignette on NXT today. So,
hooray.
Well, today.
Yesterday. 2 days ago.
2 days ago. We're watching it. We're trying to adjust to the new schedule. So we used to watch it on Thursdays, and now we're like, we're going to start recording Fridays, so let's watch it on Friday.
Yeah.
So everything's shifted back a day, which is fine.
Mm-hmm.
It opens things up a little bit, so it's good. It's just change is hard, man.
It's scary.
Change is so hard that we're not going to record an episode next week. It's too hard. I won't be emotionally ready.
I'll be playing Borderlands.
Yeah, I won't be, but I will have watched next week for sure. I'm not going to miss that.
Oh, I'll watch it, yeah.
I'm not going to watch it live because can't do that.
We don't have the USA Network.
Yeah, so weird. Right now it's 1 hour on USA, and then the second hour is on the network. So I asked the question. I was like, so will I be able to watch if I want it? Because when it gets going, it'll be available on the network 24 hours later. Mm-hmm. So will I be able to watch hour 2 if I wanted, like Thursday morning, and then watch hour 1 when it's been 24 hours and it's available?
Maybe. We'll have to find that out.
Yep.
That's a strange thing.
It is a strange thing. Otherwise, I think they could just make it where it's like, it's live at that time, and then to watch it, the whole thing, you still
have to wait 24 hours.
But and then our main event on NXT UK was a pretty decent match. Yeah. It always makes me kind of laugh when you have a great match on a pay-per-view, on a takeover, whatever, and then a champion loses their belt, and then especially in the time where it was like you always got a rematch, and they put it on TV, and it was like half the match.
Yeah,
it's like that makes zero sense to me. When like these two teams, there was a third team involved, which should make it even like more of a crazy match when it's just two teams, because it's like they don't have a third team constantly interfering. They just go out. So it's just so weird to me when they come on and it's like, oh, half the match we had before.
It was still a good match.
It was, for sure. And obviously you don't want to just put matches on TV that are going to rival those pay-per-view, those takeover matches, because you want people to watch takeover for a reason. But I feel like those championship rematches, they should be pretty good too. Because if they waited until the next takeover, it would be a banger.
Yeah.
It would be a great match.
Especially with the caliber of the performers. The Grizzled Young Vets and Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster are 4 of the best performers in WWE and NXT UK.
Yeah.
I mean, I shouldn't say WWE in general. But, and the Grizzled Young Veterans is probably one of the best tag teams going.
Yeah.
In my opinion.
I want them to get the belts back. I still think they will.
They probably will.
Again, like the taping in Cardiff, I think, because I feel like Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan are a bit of paper champs, and maybe they won't be. It just really felt like that was like they gave them that win for the moment. And, I mean, do you want to take that away from them in Cardiff? Who knows?
Probably not.
Probably not.
I mean, I don't feel they're as papery as Kaylee.
Yeah, but but Kaylee could be set up for the same reason, right? Like,
Yeah.
For that reaction, and that's fine if it is. Could you imagine if they had 3 Welsh competitors holding belts?
Do you think Wild Boar could beat
And then
Walter?
No, I thought it would be funny though if Eddie Dennis came out when Imperium were beating up on that local tag team. It's like Eddie Dennis comes out, huge pop. Eddie Dennis beats Walter for the belt. It's just all Welsh.
Yeah.
Well done.
Well done, boys.
Well done.
Welsh done, boys.
Yeah, Welsh done. So, yeah, it was a good match though. But South Wales subculture still the champs.
Still.
So I also thought it'd be funny if Mark Andrews and Flash Morgan Webster then went to Progress and beat Grizzled Young Vets for the tag titles and
that
just
would
keep
be
chasing
funny.
them around. Kind of funny, but because that's Grizzled Young Vets. They get Aussie Open
Yeah.
for the tag belts, which I would not be surprised if Aussie Open wins them back, but maybe not. Who knows? We'll see. Aussie Open have the benefit of being regulars. However, friggin' Jordan Grace has been Progress Women's Champion forever, and she's hardly on the show.
Yeah. Although
So-
they get her money's worth because she had
Well, yeah, she
2 matches on Chapter 94.
Yeah, and she's on 95. She's fighting Mako.
Yeah. Satomura.
So yeah, we'll see. But
Final boss.
the final boss.
That's a great name.
So anyway,
That was good. I feel out of the 2 shows, NXT was the better show of the 2.
yeah,
Although I think the tag match was probably the best match of the week.
right. Yeah, I'm trying to remember what do we have? Yeah. I mean, there was some hype going into this week's NXT just with the whole Shane Area thing, which apparently, I mean,
I thought it was
when
for
I think
the
about
belt.
it, well, when I think about it, it was never said that it was for the
Yeah.
belt.
We just assumed.
I just assumed
Yeah.
that she's like, I'm here, I'm challenging for the belt.
Yeah.
But no, it was just a match. Curious to see where that goes a little bit, but what did we get this week? Oh, we had more Damian Priest. They got to do something with him.
Yeah.
It's
'cause
getting
he's just smacking around breakout stars.
Yeah,
now.
there are a few. He beat Boa this week.
Poor Boa.
It happens quite regularly though when they bring someone in. It's like that slow build. I'm like, but okay, we've seen him beat a number of different quote unquote enhancement talents, if you want to call whatever you want to call them. Let's get him into something. It doesn't have to be anything huge, but give him some kind of story.
I feel he should have started. He beat.
Although
Keith
he beat
Lee.
Keith Lee, yeah.
He should have. I feel he should go after Dijakovic. Dijakovic.
Except they're both. Like,
Well,
I
no,
think,
but that's the point, right? Like, you just have these 2 really big,
Yeah.
bad striker guys just
sure, which is
causing
fair,
earthquakes in the ring because they hit each other so hard.
But I get stuck on I'm pretty sure he's supposed to be a heel.
Which one?
Both of them.
Right.
Right? And so I'm like, I don't see them pulling the trigger in that sense necessarily.
I guess.
But he should go somewhere for sure. Like, he needs to have... I was going to say he should fight Riddle. He already lost to Riddle.
Yeah.
But that was when he was punishment.
That was one of Riddle's debuts. When
Yeah.
Riddle was doing the thing Damian Priest is doing.
Yeah. Except, right out of the gate, though, he had a good match. But, yeah, I mean, Priest has beaten Keith Lee. But, yeah, we need to get somewhere. He's got to start... I just want him in a story. Doesn't have to be anything crazy. Just give him someone to work with where there's a little bit of back and forth.
I think that's a problem, though. Right now, they're trying to rebuild people.
Sure. Yeah, it's possible. But anyway, he beat Boa. Cool. That was the breakout stars. The breakout tournament competitors continue to lose outside of the tournament.
Yep.
So good on them. And then we had...
Johnny.
Oh, yeah, Johnny. Yeah, in this one I was like, Shane Thorne's going to come out because that's apparently what's next for Johnny Gargano.
And Johnny was just about to say whether or not he was leaving NXT.
Yeah.
And lo and behold, who comes out?
Shane Thorne.
The Mighty.
Yeah.
The Mighty Shane Thorne.
The
not
Mighty Shane Thorne.
the tag team, The Mighty.
Yeah, I wonder, are they going to give him a nickname?
I think he's like, I am Shane Thorne, I am Mighty, and the Mighty don't kneel. I think
am
is what
Mighty
he says.
Mouse.
I am Mighty Shane Thorne. I don't know.
Mighty Shane Thorne.
I don't think he needs one. He's
No, he doesn't.
he's looking good physically.
Yeah. Why isn't he wearing a shirt? Because he doesn't need to wear a shirt.
Right.
Look at the guy.
I think this will be a good match. I feel Shane needs the win more than Johnny.
Sure he does.
Especially since like he's been on a run. He's beat
The Breakout Stars.
the Breakout Stars. He beat Shane. No,
Well, he beat DJZ, but I can't remember what his name is.
Joaquin Wilde.
Joaquin Wilde, that's right.
He beat Bronson Reed.
Yeah.
In an Aussie versus Aussie match.
Yeah. Those are the only two he's beat so far, though, I think.
He
right?
beat someone else, I think, but I don't remember who.
Did he fight Boa?
No. Yeah, no. Boa's had 2 matches.
Yeah, say Boa, this is the first time we've seen him since the tournament. But yeah, he's going to fight Johnny Gargano, I assume. So cool. Or is it over? Johnny Gargano super kicked him, quote
I'm
unquote.
right here.
Yeah, he's like, I'm not going anywhere.
That's no super kick.
And then he did the whole, he did the whole like Bret Hart where he rode out in the air NXT to the hard cam where Bret did the WCW thing. And then he dropped the for life, which was kind of funny, which Bret didn't do, but as far as I remember. But he's walking up to the ramp, NXT for life. I want them to start a stable that is like literally like that's the thing.
Yeah.
And the stable is just called NXT.
That'll get very confusing.
Right? But it's just like but he goes and he gets like I mean, he could essentially bring in Breezango if he wanted.
Yeah.
Not necessarily originals, but like guys who have been in NXT for quite some time.
Yeah.
NXT for life.
No.
I don't think that'll happen. But yeah, so maybe we get that next week. I don't know.
That should be fun.
Yeah.
Might hold it for another week, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Get some more build.
I am excited to watch next week.
Next week's will be good. We got the
North American
sofa fight, the sofa fire match.
I hate that couch.
It's
not a dumpster fire. It's a couch fire.
Couch fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
for the North American title.
The
Street Profits were like calling out saying they were coming back.
Yeah.
And they said next week.
Next week,
so
they want a challenge for the Undisputed's belt.
Yeah, that to this point hasn't been announced, unless something was announced on Twitter or something like that when they do it like that way sometimes. So who knows? But I was thinking it would be funny because it looks like Roderick Strong and Velveteen Dream. It'll either be like the very first match to like kick it all off, or it'll be like the to end the first hour because that's when USA goes off and it goes over to the network for the second hour. It'd be great if in that first hour Roderick Strong wins the belt, the North
Opening
American
match.
Championship.
Roderick Strong wins the belt,
and then Street Profits get a rematch and
they
win the
win.
tag belts back. They're like, we had it for like 40 minutes. It was the prophecy was true for 40, and that would be great if that was the end of it.
Yeah,
they could from that point on could never get it done.
Draped in gold.
Draped in gold. But we'll see. What else do we have this week?
We had a lot of breakout stars actually because the Bruiserweight came out.
And he beat Angel Garza.
And he made Garza tap out. It was wonderful. It was a good match.
The way the match started, I said, like, because Angel Garza does that thing where in the middle of the match, he rips his pants off and he's wearing trunks underneath. And he was about to do that early in the match. It's like, if he does that, he loses. like, immediately. Yeah. Because he'll do it after a flurry of offense when he's got a chance. I mean, he did lose, but he ended up putting on a better match than...
Oh, yeah. We gave... It was twice as more competitive than we thought it would be.
Yeah. It was good.
Which is nice.
I enjoy him. He gave Grandma a kiss.
Yeah.
On the way to the ring.
Still refusing to high five Big Blue.
He refused to high five Big Blue.
Yeah.
Johnny pointed out Big Blue.
Yeah.
Because he said something about he's like
everybody's asking.
Everyone's asking. You've been asking. And he like points at Big Blue, and everyone's like, huh. So yeah. I love when they interact with him a little bit because he's you can't miss him.
He's huge.
He's huge, and I feel bad for anybody who sits behind him.
Because he does not sit down.
No, he stands up a lot. So Angel Garza gave Grandma a kiss. So sometimes Grandma's in that row. Yeah. But nope, she was by the ramp this time.
Mm-hmm.
I wonder if she sat the whole show there, though, or if that was like I'm moving over here.
Yeah, because Angel's like, I want Grandma up there so I can...
Yeah, I'm going to give her a kiss, and then I'm going to shun everybody else. Yeah. He likes Grandma.
She's great lady.
She's great. She seems awesome. From what I've seen. Anyway, so yeah, he loses to Pete. Yeah. And then finally, we have a breakout tournament performer win outside of the tournament.
Oh my goodness. What?
Now, I say this not knowing what Isaiah Scott has had going on 205 Live. I don't know if he's been in any wins, but on NXT, I don't believe anyone has won outside of the breakout tournament. Because obviously Jordan Miles, he's only had one match. Yeah. He lost it to Adam Cole. But Cameron Grimes finally gets the win. Well, finally. He also... His only loss is the breakout tournament final.
He gets a win.
He beat Raul Mendoza. So not only did we have a lot of breakout stars, we also had a lot of Hispanic people on the show. Yeah. It was great. It was a good show. I thought it was pretty well paced show.
It was. It didn't feel long.
No, and the end. I mean, in the end, the match we get is Rhea and Shayna.
Yeah.
And it ends kind of how you expect it to schmoz.
It ends classic
Yeah.
three
The
horsewomen
thing
fashion.
we did skip, though, is that, I mean, it was announced last week, the triple threat match for the women's number one contendership. And then
Candice was reading.
she's like, why am I not in this? Why are you giving everything to EO? She's a jerk. Blah, 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 blah. And William Regal's like, okay,
You're
it's
right.
a fatal four-way. And then
Depending on how tonight goes, it might be a five-way. And she's like, as
I
long
like
as I
that
get
our-
EO, I don't
hold on,
care.
Hold on. I like that our William Regal impersonation sounds like a really bad Keanu Reeves impersonation. And he sounds nothing
He
like
sounds nothing like that.
Keanu Reeves. But yeah, he says, depending on how tonight goes, it could be a five-way if Rhea wins. And at that point, I went, wait, huh? Because it was then we realized, it's not a title match tonight. And then because then I was like, well, maybe if Rhea wins, he's saying she's champion, so Shayna will be in that match.
Yeah.
No. So it's a four-way, fatal four-way. We get to this match. It goes for a little bit, back and forth. It started with Rhea being like the aggressor, like big, like I'm bigger than anything.
Out-muscling Shayna.
Yeah. Looking great. And then eventually, the cronies come down.
Yeah, Shayna starts getting the upper hand. Rhea flips around. She electric chair facebusters
onto the
Shayna
stairs.
onto some stairs. It did not look pretty.
No, didn't look nice. But yeah, when the Marina and Jessamine come down, it's funny because I think it was Marina who jumped in the ring first, and
Rhea just floored her.
Rhea just like lays her out, and then so I just thought it was funny that then they're like, Rhea was the aggressor. Well, of course, she jumped in the ring in the middle of her match, so that's why there was no the DQ.
It didn't get DQ'd.
Anyway, Jessamine throws a chair in the ring. Shayna goes to hit Rhea. Rhea grabs the chair, hits Shayna, gets DQ'd. So now we're left with this: is that while Rhea lost, technically, she was disqualified. Yeah. So will she be in that match next week?
Or was it just a one-off?
Or was it just a one-off? It definitely felt unfinished because of the way it went down, and I don't see you bringing Rhea over for that
for just one match.
Yeah, being just like in a match with no finish.
Yeah,
like okay, what's the point?
I think it'll be a five-way.
Could be.
I think if it is a five-way, Rhea or Candice will win. If it's four-way, I'd say Candice is probably the biggest potential to win.
I think that's the one that makes the most sense for me.
Because she's the only one who hasn't really faced Shayna.
Well, and the only other straight up, again, going back to the getting stuck on face versus heel, the only other straight up face in that match is Mia, who we've just seen fight and lose to Shayna. Yeah. So I'm like, and I don't think you're going to rebuild Bianca as a face at this point. And Io, I mean, I could see Mia winning if it's a four-way because Shayna and Io just tee off on each other, taking each other out in the end. I do like the
you mean Candice and Io.
Yeah, sorry, Candice and Io teeing off on each other. I do like if Rhea's in it, I would like to see that match, an actual match. I am getting a little bit tired, which is why I think we're getting towards the end of Shayna's run. Yeah. A little bit tired of the run-ins, of the runs.
Yeah.
Runs are never fun, you know what I mean? In a similar fashion to, obviously very different champions, but when Jinder Mahal was champ, with the sings constantly, it got very tiring. What I like so far with Walter in NXT UK is that's not a requirement.
Yeah, he doesn't need them.
Yeah, and Shayna doesn't need that. That's the thing. You could argue maybe Jinder needed them. I feel like they built Jinder that way. Yeah, to call him Jinder that way. His gender is fluid. But they built Jinder that way where he was always kind of relying on that, right? Whereas, Shayna is dominant.
Yeah.
And Walter is dominant. Mm-hmm. So,
why does Shayna need the two girls who can't barely wrestle to help her out?
Poor girls. What needs to happen is Marina needs to beat Shayna for the belt.
Yeah.
Roddy needs to beat Velveteen for the belt.
Yeah.
Because then Undisputed is draped in gold plus the wife. Fiance, whatever, baby mama,
something.
Yeah,
they're a thing.
They're a thing. But yeah, so I think she'll be in the match next week.
Yeah. That being said, now is about the time where they start building up for War Games.
Yeah, I don't like your idea for War Games, but you had laid out.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just don't see it happen. Well, just because okay, so this is what you said: Fatal 5-Way.
Yeah.
And then, if I recall, you said like
the 3 horse ladies
come down and make
muck
a
the
mess of
matchup.
it.
Yeah, and
we're also still too far out. I think
we're
from
too
War
far
Games.
out. Yes, but it could be like a longer build.
I am not against having a women's War Games. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Just then you're like, then it's like 3-on-3. I'm like, but that doesn't make sense.
Well, 3-on-3-on-3.
Oh yeah, okay. So
Nine ladies. Nine ladies, 2 rings, 1 cage. Wrong guy.
Wrong guy. We did talk about him earlier.
We did.
Yeah, and the other thing I don't like when that sort of deal happens, I'm like, I want the belts to be defended.
Mm-hmm.
If it's a tag title picture, War Games, that's great. Defend the belts in there. But like, it was a great match when like Ricochet and Pete were on the same team.
And
but
the belts
but that was 2. Well, you weren't necessarily going to have the WWE UK title, but
that
was 2 belts that could have been defended in matches that were now just stuck into a tag match and or
some sort of tag match,
a team match.
I guess you could do like 4 teams, 5 teams, maybe.
You could set it any number you want, really.
Yeah. Well, you don't want it too crowded, though.
No, I know, but I mean, like, you don't have to have 8 people.
Yeah.
Like, it could be 3 teams.
That's true.
And you'd start it the way it kind of used to get started before, like, because if you had more teams, I think you just have teams enter together.
Yeah.
Whereas like this, you just go if it's 3 teams for the tag belts, it's 1 at a time, right? And then it's like, these guys are teaming up on this guy because he's only got 1 guy in there right now, right? But who knows? Yeah, we will head towards road games. My mouth is just.
We are in the road to War Games.
The road to War Games.
To road games.
Yeah. It is another one. We've talked about this, like where I'm like, I kind of wish it wasn't just the pay-per-view.
Yeah.
The takeover, because then the setup always feels like
cheapens it, because now you're like, now you're kind of expecting, okay, well, they're going to have a group of guys.
I think it would be cool
people, like,
if it was like, it was known that the November takeover always had some kind of gimmick in the main event.
Yeah.
But then you had to wait to see what it was. You're going to face each other in Hell in a Cell. You're going to face you 2 teams are going to face each other in a TLC match. You know what I mean? Like adding those, like that sort of thing. But at the same point, I know War Games, it's going to be a ridiculous match and fun to watch.
Well, yeah, it's not like it's going to be bad. It's just like it cheapens the build, I feel, because you know it's coming.
Yeah. One of these times, it would be neat if they did a thing where it was like, say, like they vacated the title for whatever reason,
and they just had like a huge War Games match for the.
Well, I don't know, like if it was like elimination, you could go like for the actual belt, or if it was like a big War Games match, and whichever team won, they then fought in a fatal 4-way or whatever, for the belt. Not necessarily that night. But or you do War Games right off the bat, and then we're gonna have a crazy fatal 4-way
at the end.
I don't know, but who knows? That's where we're headed. We're headed to War Games. That is part of the fun too. Is going, okay, what do we think is going to be the?
That's true.
What do we think is going to be the setup? Where are we going to go here? So it could be.
Yeah,
it could be the women's.
It could
match.
be women. It could be
I think
the
it'll be Undisputed Era.
It could be Undisputed Era putting all 4 of their belts on the line.
It's going to be Undisputed Era against NXT for life.
Tyler Breeze, Fandango, Johnny Gargano, Velveteen Dream.
Yeah, that was the other guy I was thinking. I was like, well, probably something like Velveteen, but I don't necessarily like that group.
I mean,
a returning Tommaso Ciampa.
That would be cool.
When's he back?
Who knows?
Kevin
Owens coming back?
Kevin Owens, if he does, I like the rumor.
There is the shakeup will be coming soon. So be prepared to gain some people from.
Is NXT in the draft?
I believe so.
Like, because when I'd seen like the graphic, it wasn't. But
I heard NXT was not exempt. Well, normally they just do call-ups during the
draft
shakeup
from NXT.
But I think they might be pulling. NXT might get to participate
just as long
in the draft
if it's the right guys, right people.
On the list: Kevin Owens, Finn, Cesaro, Sammy, Shinsuke, maybe.
Shinsuke's doing fine though. I think
EC3 probably could use a call down.
Wah, wah, wah. Is it a call down now? Now you're even talking about like being live on TV 2 hours a week. It's no longer like filming once a month.
That's true. You know what he's doing right now? Getting his butt kicked on that main event.
Yeah, he is. Attaboy.
Yeah. We love you, EC3. Come back.
But if he comes back, he has to come back as Derek Bateman. He's like, whoa, what am I doing back here?
But Fandango changed back to Johnny Curtis, and Tyler Breeze back to Mike Dalton.
But Tyler Breeze can stay Tyler Breeze.
No.
He was at least Tyler Breeze in NXT.
Yeah.
Johnny Fandango was never Fandango in NXT. Neither was EC3.
Well, yes, he
EC3 was the second time around. He was. But, so Anyway, I'm getting excited for that. I'm still cautiously optimistic that NXT going live 2 hours a week. At least to start, I think it should be good because I feel like they're going to pull triggers on things.
Yeah.
Like to try to gain
Spice
some
it up.
momentum. Yeah. I will. There's a couple things I'll be interested. This show, obviously being their first show, I'm also interested to see what they do when AEW goes to air. What do you have in store if you're going to go head to head?
A Clash of Champions.
The Crash of Champions.
Yeah.
So
Speaking of Clash of Champions, is Sunday.
Oh, that's right. Hooray.
Hooray!
The only thing interesting about Clash of Champions for me is that Seth Rollins and Braun Strowman have to be a tag team and then fight each other.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty great.
That's pretty cool. That's going to be
as much
neat.
as I'm not a Braun Strowman fan per se. I like Seth, but I like the story there a little bit. It's kind of cool. But anyways, that will wrap us up for another week. We will be back possibly next week. Not a regular show. I'm being like.
We want to be vague.
Yeah, we're being a little vague because things still have to fall into place and actually happen. But
yes.
We may have a special episode next week. If not, we'll be back to our regularly scheduled programming in 2 weeks where we'll talk about all sorts of excitement because NXT will have gone live and we'll have lost our minds.
All of them.
All of them.
The minds, the marbles.
It's all gone. But yeah, so again, you can follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Disc Progress. You can also find us wherever you find your podcasts. It's Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube, wherever you find podcasts. We are there. Make sure you subscribe, you rate, review, all that kind of stuff. Tell all your friends, and of course, we're at allwrestling.com. That's going to do it. So, goodbye.